It's Gabriel.
It's Bailey.
And this is CYMK.
So I'm so excited for this episode.
Me too.
Today we are honored to have our first guest, Jesus Toro Martinez. He actually has his show right now on display in the Coop Gallery. How long does that go on?
That is going to go on until February 25th, 2023.
Perfection. So enjoy this conversation we had with him and come see the show during Downtown Stroll on February 16th.
Let's get to it.
I have a BFA from San Antonio Art Institute, which at that time was part of Trinity University. And they were seeking accreditation through Trinity University. And it was accredited to Trinity University, but it was a different school. It was just focused on art.
So your college work, was that anything like the work that you make now?
No, my work earlier was like every student goes through college.
Mm-hmm, just like
you have to do traditional work. You have to explore every venue, every avenue of what you have. It was very realistic. Nothing up to the expression of what you see now. Mm-hmm. It was very academia. I come from very humble beginnings. I used to have a studio that did not have a real floor. It had dirt floors. It was open air. The roof was leaking all the time, and it was not. The nearest bathroom was about a 5-minute drive.
Wow.
It was out in the middle of nowhere.
Where was that?
This was in South Texas on Highway 359 between Laredo and Freer, Texas. And it was there. And my very early work, from college on my own, actually right before college, I was trying to do things just expressive. I would mix things. My parents would say, "You're crazy. You're thinking that this is art," because we lived out on the rural areas. So we would kill, or I would say slaughter, animals, for feed, for food. And a cow, we would always gut it out and try to make things happen for throughout the year. So the blood would come out, even deer and bulls and whatever we had to okay, we're going to make sausage, we're going to make this, we're going to make that. And it was just to survive for the whole year. And so my dad would put all the blood into a bucket. I was thinking, okay, let's use this as paint.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And how old were you?
I was in my 20s.
Oh, okay.
Early. I had just, it was one summer. I went to school. My first year in college was in UT Austin. I went to school there my freshman year. I didn't survive there. The traditional academia school it was not my thing. Mm-hmm. But then I transferred to San Antonio to go to Trinity University, and that's when they had a school called the San Antonio Art Institute. And that's where I went to school. It was more focused and geared under art. And that's where the foundation of my work of abstraction came from.
And there's still that nature aspect in it because you're using that dirt, and you can see that in the art that you make now, which I think is still really cool. There's a little bit.
Yes, there's still in it, but I progressed to something else. I started thinking of a bigger idea, and the idea was to reduce our footprint of this world. Mm-hmm. I started seeing, or my studio was out on Highway 59, outside of Laredo. That studio was out in the colonias. These are in unincorporated areas outside in the municipalities, and you don't have the right infrastructures to have running water. You didn't have electricity. It's more like, you're out there camping, but actually it's life. And it's the hard life. And that's what I did. And I even went to school like that, went to high school and then went to college. My parents still lived out there and in a four. That was the idea of life. But I saw it as of creative space. I don't care what people says. We're not here to impress people because you don't have AC, that sort of thing. But now it's like we have to have AC. We have to live with the amenities.
Yes.
But basically, back then when I was growing up and starting my creative world as an artist, those were the foundations, and that's what made me think of what are you going to do next. So I started thinking about caring about our environment. So the work that I do today is more about looking at what we do. We live in the world of plenty. Mm-hmm. When we have too much, what happens? You discard it. It's like, oh, I'm not going to wear this because it doesn't fit or I don't like it. So what happens? It goes to, sometimes you're smart, you give it away to somebody who can appreciate that. Or you give it to an organization that could probably give it to somebody else in need. Or what happens next? The third.
Landfills.
Trash.
And even then, the things that go into donating just end up at landfills.
I'll throw it away.
I am heavy against fast fashion, and I can see it. I can see both spectrums of it because it is affordable for those who can't afford clothing, but also it just gives us as humans an excuse to consume the latest trending without appreciating anything that is our own individuality. So I understand that part.
So,
but yeah, just at the landfills.
So think about it. Reducing, then it's true. Things that end up in a landfill. So then I started thinking, what do I do? I was, and it all started one day that I started cleaning a right-of-way on a highway. Started picking up the trash because there was a lot of plastic bags, a lot of takeout, and it was stuff that came from the rain wash. Then that was one day. And then the next day, I started cleaning up creeks, riverbeds and stuff. And I started going in dry creeks, go pick up whatever it was. And it was basically, I was looking for materials. I was not cleaning it. I was looking for materials, and the whole concept behind it was create a visual statement that would show that these materials found in areas can be used in another form and fashion that you cannot identify what they are. And that's where it started. And then started going one step further, such as, okay, we have this. I have a pile of pebbles that are plastics. I have another bag of pulp that is like pulp looking stuff, and it's paper, and it's all restaurant takeouts. All the different types of styrofoams. And then it became all the different types of paper cups. Then it became, and so I started like shredding them, making them into different materials. And then some were becoming so unique in their own color. And I said, oh, let me use this. And then by using different types of paint mediums that would help you adhere the material together and make them into translucent, into something you're actually working. And then after that, I started thinking, these are the materials that's going to represent today, the day that we live. I'm literally documenting history through my art by the materials that we use today. And that's where it started. And the title, speaks for itself. Sacred lands,
right.
Tierra Sagrada.
I love that you mix the message with your process. So you're helping the environment by making the art and spreading the message about that. So I love it. It's great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's just, coming out here to see and celebrate my work. It just gives me a great honor to be here. And I thank the Hispanic Heritage Museum and also the San Angelo Museum of Art that really have gone out of their way to put this in, and especially when things are being set up, when people says, you're bringing what? Yes, I'm bringing a painting that is 35 feet long. And that is a landscape. It's a landscape of Bull Creek in Austin. And that, after a rain wash there, you see trash that comes from other places. and that was collected and it was created. The reason the visual statement of creating it that long, so it makes you feel you're walking in the land.
I really like that.
That's great. It has been so nice talking to you today.
It has. Do you have any concluding thoughts that you would like to add?
Well, the only thoughts I have is that you have a beautiful community here in San Angelo.
Yes.
San Angelo is like the destination that every Texan needs to come and visit.
Yes.
You know, coming from Central Texas, this beautiful air that you breathe, this wonderful scenery you have, and this whole place, it's magic. That's what I want to say. I want to tell people, if you know, I don't know how far your podcast is going, how far you're going, but if you're listening to this elsewhere, come to San Angelo, Texas, and experience the beauty that exists here. You know, if my work may not be here, but the city will be here, and there's a lot of friendly faces and smiles.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yes.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you.